everyone, it is Kaiju Stuff here, and I'm back with another review. And this is Godzilla Gum. I don't know what year it was produced. I got it at a comic book store relatively far from me, and I got it for $5. Now, you might be asking why I'm bringing this up, and if you are, then you didn't read the thumbnail, because this video is all about the Godzilla foods and, I guess, consumables that I just happen to have had the privilege to try, or have not tried because they're about 30 years old, like this one. This is Mechagodzilla Gum, and I know it's really hard to tell, but there is an outline of Mechagodzilla. You can kind of see his feet right there, his tail. It's definitely much more noticeable in person. But this is a very neat, just oddity to have. The fact that it's still sealed perfectly and whatnot. And it does say Godzilla a lot. Upside down and right side up. And it is, I guess, it's like a parchment paper packaging. It's really not the most interesting thing today. But I just had to pick it up because I just found this such a weird, neat novelty. And it does kind of stink a little, because it is just rotting rubber, if that can happen. But yeah, pretty cool first thing. Moving on to the next food. Now, if you're an avid viewer of my reviews, then I would have to imagine that you know what this is. If not, then let me enlighten you. This is a candy that came with basically all figures like this. If you don't know what this is like basically a gas station toy that was sold in Japan from the mid-90s to the early 2000s. This one is the King Ghidorah from 2002. I already made a review on this and its set, if you guys want to see that. But this candy is basically the little extra thing you get when purchasing something like this. And it came with all the figures of every set that had basically the same thing. If you look, all these figures came with this. I have about 20 of these things, this type of figure, and I at one point had 20 of these candies, but I threw all of them out besides one. The packaging on this is relatively nice. It's got some candy and a robot and a little car. It says Bandai with some Japanese characters, and I'm not sure if it was like this just simply because they wanted it to be yellow and distinct, or if at one point it was clear and just aged from being in a cardboard box for 30 years. I don't know what happened, but all of them had the exact same shade of yellow, so I would have to assume that it was deliberate. But the candies, they're very simple. They're just white-colored, pill-like chalk candies. I, of course, have never tried it, and I will never try one in my life, because these things are ancient. So yeah, that's this candy, and on to something that's more modern. Now, from now on, the food that I will be showing you, I've had the astute privilege to try. But only one of them was good, and only one of them I would have recommended if the expiration date was not years ago. So, starting off with these two. These are Godzilla chocolate bars from FYE, and they were sold just a couple years ago, 2022, 2023, around there. And originally, there were 3 types. There was also a King Ghidorah that looks like that. But I only got my hands on these 2, and that is the Mothra and the Mechagodzilla. Now, there also was a Godzilla that was, I think, a half pound of chocolate. I could be wrong, but there's the picture right there of it, and I never got my hands on that either, because I don't I don't like spicy chocolate. I know that's a controversial statement, but I actually like my chocolate to be tasting good. So, starting off with the Mothra, the one that's not spicy, it's horrible. These two chocolate bars are the worst chocolate I've ever had. But, I will say, the art is pretty cool. So, let's just jump right in, starting with the art on the packaging. On the top, you have a little silhouette of Godzilla looking at his name, and it says, Born of Light, with a really nice picture of Mothra. Down here, it says, Mothra, with 3 ounces, monster size. Now, is that monster size? Probably not. I would say it's more of a standard size, but we're gonna roll with that. Here we have Mothra, and there's a car driving directly towards Mothra. That's not that smart, and I would have to assume that that is Mothra's name. Now here is where what I don't like. The blood orange white confection with popping candy. Popping candy meaning like a Pop Rocks or whatnot. Now, once again, I like my chocolate smooth. You know, I like a Ferrero Rocher kind of guy. I'm not like a Hell's chocolate. I don't know. This seems wrong, but I did have the privilege to try it, and it was horrible. So, I would not recommend it. If we turn to the back here, I did eat it. Well, I don't think I ate the whole thing, but I did have a few pieces, and it was 150 calories, and the expiration date was 2023. So, and it was $5, which even for inflation, that was expensive. That is still expensive, even though things have gotten up in price. That would be expensive for me. But now it would probably be $8. Either way, it's quite interesting, and I guess if you guys find the wrapper in the garbage at your local mall where an FYE is, I would keep the wrapper if you find it in the garbage, but I wouldn't buy it. And I think this is the first time in the channel ever that I recommend that you do not buy something. These chocolates being so. Now, the Mechagodzilla one was, to be honest, probably better, but that's like, would I rather be hit in the face or like hitting my hand palm open, you know? So, I mean, it was still pretty bad. It was still pretty bad, but here we have the Mechagodzilla 1, and let's just get to the illustrations. Up here, we have the same Godzilla silhouette staring at his name, and it says Space Beam Attack with a nice picture of Mechagodzilla shooting off the chocolate bar. Revolutionary, I know. Down here, we have beautiful art of Mechagodzilla. I mean, both of these illustrations, they are very nice, especially for a chocolate bar. Here we have Mechagodzilla's name, 3-ounce monster size, because I guess 3 ounces in Japan, I guess, would be considered monster size. And then down here it says Mecha Milk Chocolate Bar with pretzels, sea salt, chili, chipotle, and peanuts. Now, that's a lot. Okay, that is a lot. However, it was bad because it was spicy and just not that good overall, but it was definitely better than Mothra's popping orange grossness. So, I mean, if you're into spicy chocolate, I don't think there's a big market for that, but if you're into that, I would totally try to scalp one of these from eBay and eat it. How many years after the expiration? 2022. Almost 2023. So, wow, 3 years ago. Could have been 4 years ago if it was like a couple months before, but you know, what are you gonna do? So, overall, these are really neat, just novelty items, essentially. These are just really cool novelty items, and that's about it. You're not getting this for the flavor, you're just getting it for the art, and to say that you've had it, and to say that it tasted like crap. So, the last thing I would like to show you guys is something that actually tastes good, in my opinion. I think this was really good, and it was the only time I had this particular type of food, and I actually enjoyed it. Crazy, I know. So let's get into that, and let's wrap up this video. Now, not only is the art beautiful on this box, not only did it taste good, but it was only 37 calories for a piece. And it was distributed from the Great White North of Canada. But it was made in Taiwan. And that would be the Godzilla Chocolate Mochi, also from FYE. And this was definitely by far the best mochi I've ever had, and the best Godzilla food product I've ever had. This was truly one of the best things from FYE I've ever had, because, you know, FYE, their food, it's bottom of the barrel stuff. You know, it's bacon soda, just really novelty items, and this one was actually really good, and I was impressed, because I just bought it for the Godzilla, and I wanted more. That is how good this was. So, starting with the box here, we have a nice little silhouette of Godzilla, his name, and then something. Over here we have a nice, not even an illustration, a picture of the mochi, with Godzilla on top, King of the Monsters, and Chocolate Mochi. Here we have a nice, really cool, chocolate-looking Godzilla. He looks almost brown, and that even kind of reminds me of that one Godzilla 1954 that came in those boxes with those candies that I had mentioned previously. Look at that. That's basically spot on. I mean, I don't know what they were trying to do here, but this is a very niche reference, and I'm assuming it's just one big coincidence, but if it's not, this is really interesting. Anyway, back on to the mochi. On top, you have Godzilla Chocolate Mochi, and on the back, you just have a lot of ingredients, and if you're allergic to any of this, then that's a no-go. And here we have Godzilla destroying a building, with another picture of that mochi, and the Godzilla logo, and Toho, and distributed, and Ancaster, Canada. Canada, yes. Overall, though, it was great. I have no complaints about this product. And if there was one complaint about the product, is that it doesn't exist anymore. That is the only complaint I have, and it is not even a complaint to the product itself, it's to the distributor. So that's my only complaint, and besides that, 2023 was a great year for mochi. So with that, guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the content, and this one was a pretty rushed video because I kind of wanted to get something out before the other main series video. So if you guys want to see really good content, I would check out the main series, or even stop motions, which I am working on another stop motion as we speak, so that will be done as soon as possible. And as soon as possible, that means within the next year, and I know it's a long time, but I also have my life and other videos besides stop motion, because I haven't made a stop motion in a year. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great Mother's Day, because by the time this comes out, it's going to be Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all mothers, because I'm sure there's a lot of mothers watching this video. Totally. And yeah. Bye.